Okay, so here's the deal. I've got this Word program, and I've used LibreOffice Draw, and now I want to put it in InDesign.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll show you what the program looks like in Draw. And so the reason I like Draw is because it's free, and it's pretty intuitive. Like, it doesn't really take a lot of guesswork to figure out what the heck I'm doing.
So it's almost not technology.
Almost not.
Yeah.
By our definition of technology is something that makes you guess. Okay, I don't like LibreOffice because it takes for freaking ever to load, and because like when I tried to do the table, I couldn't get the table to work. Like I couldn't get it so that it would put the lines in the table where I wanted them, and that was kind of like, and then it's just kind of, it's a little bit cumbersome, you know, like it doesn't have the snap lines and stuff to tell you where things are. But this is the layout, right? So it's 2 pages, front and back, and then I've got like some table and some other info. And so now I want to convert this into InDesign. So I will open up InDesign. And the thing, like I was saying, the thing I was having the most trouble with is, and let me see if I've got one in my bag, just so you can like see what it actually looks like.
You don't even have programs, by the way.
Well, if you want to copy ours.
Make them.
So the steak people that come and visit our ward, like apparently have been super impressed with our program.
Nice. You chose a real font too. It's not Comic Sans.
Yeah, I chose Futura because that's what you always choose.
I love Futura. It's such a great font.
And it looks nice.
And Nike uses it, so like validation there.
Okay.
I told one of the designers at my work that, and they were like, "You're right." Like so surprised. It's like, it's a thing.
So, okay, so InDesign finally loaded. Actually, let me just pull this over to a new window. That way we can flip back and forth between them. So I'm going to create a, I guess, document.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then I think I want it to be like half letter size.
No, I think you want it to be letter size.
Do I want it to be letter size? Because I was thinking make it half letter size.
And then 4 pages?
Yeah, print, and then tell it to print 2 pages per page.
What are you using to print this?
My printer.
Just like your desk
PDF.
So the reason I wouldn't is because your printer will probably default putting each PDF page, because the PDF saves each individual piece as a separate page.
Yeah, but when you
default to putting them on separate pages, so probably won't stack the two next to each other.
Yeah, but when you click print, it gives you the option. You can say print X number per page.
Oh, well, if you want to do it, then you can. The reason I like to do it as whatever my printed cut size is because I feel like it gives me better control over the artwork, because there's no like automated, we're putting these together, but either one should be fine.
Well, I like this idea, so I'm going to go with it, but maybe I'll change my thoughts later.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any difference. If you want to do a bleed though, if you want an image that's going to go over the edge, you need to add bleed, which is you have to click more options to add bleed. But this is really only if you're going to cut it after printing it.
I'm not going to cut it. I'm just going to print it like this.
Okay, then it won't matter because your printer's not capable of printing to a borderless image.
Yeah, so what I need is like a 1/2 inch, because you can see right here when it's actually printed that I'm holding in my hands.
Yeah.
You know, that 1/2 inch is more than enough. I could probably go like 1/4 inch. It could probably still print. So how do I turn P into like, you get what I'm saying? Like, how do I say I want the margin to be a 1/2 inch?
Uh-huh. Well, first, I think you want a landscape image. I think you want it wider rather than taller.
That's definitely true, yeah.
Wait, no, you have a 1/2 letter.
No, so the 1/2.
Vertical.
Yes, the 1/2 I want vertical.
Sorry, that confused me. So you want that. And then what I would say is you can do it as a relative measurement, which is probably just as effective as converting it. But
well, what the heck does P mean?
This is going to sound dumb, but I honestly don't know.
Well, maybe you're not the person I should be doing this with then.
Yeah, probably right.
Pika is 18 points.
Yeah.
So
that's what I thought P was.
One P is 1 Pika. So how do we convert that to something I can use?
I'm going to help with the P. It stands for Pika.
But I can come back to this later, right? So I'm just going to click OK and continue.
In the drop-down menu, units, choose units and increments.
Oh, hold on. So go back to, was it
It says,
file document presets.
Go to the toolbar at the top of your page.
Okay.
Yeah, open InDesign without a document open. Go to the InDesign menu. So close this real quick.
Like
close this document that you have
okay.
open.
Close it.
Go to the InDesign menu all the way up on the left. There you go. Go to preferences.
I could have done that with the document open.
Yeah, but it wouldn't affect the document that you've already created. Units and increments. Select inches.
What is inches versus inches decimal? I think inches decimal sounds cool.
Okay.
A text unit, stroke, okay. What? It has millimeters but not inches, that's funny.
Well, because
I guess point.
An inch would be a really wide line.
Oh, 72 points an inch. So I guess like Pika's
18 points.
Okay.
It's a little random.
So that's 2 of those is 36, 4 of those is 72. So 18 pikas is a 1/4 inch. Is that what we're saying?
4 pikas.
That's 18
A
points.
pika is 18 points. And
1
72
pika is a
points.
1/4 inch.
Yes.
Okay, cool. We're on the same page.
Good one.
Very funny.
Good one. I hope this never gets posted on the internet.
Oh, it's going to get posted on the YouTubes. All of them.
You're right.
All of the
All
YouTubes.
the YouTubes.
All the cats are going to get replaced with this video.
You know, like,
Great, okay.
get a letter from my grandma. I was looking for cats and all I found was your video. I think my internet is broken.
No, Grandma, that's just how we do it these days.
Yeah, so I think you can do either letter or half letter, whatever you
Yeah, well, I'm going to do this because this is what I want to do, fool.
feel excited about.
Okay, number of pages, 4 pages, and I'm going to start at number 0, I think. Okay, so I have to start at number 2.
No, you have to start at 1.
No, I have to start at 2. Unless maybe facing pages, maybe if I uncheck that, then I do this.
No, so if you have facing pages, then it goes like this. If you have not facing pages, it goes like this.
Okay, so I
Each
do
one
want
is an
I do want
individual unit.
facing pages. And then I have to start at page 2 because otherwise it's going to start me off at the first page. It would be like a book format, right? So let me just show you. I thought you were supposed to be the expert here. Okay, so see that right there? See how that's like kind of screwed up? So if I go back to document setup and now I do start page 2 because it won't let me do start page 0. Now it does what I want.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? So
I
now
see what you're saying.
when I go to print this, I can just say print 2 per page.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much an expert at this. I don't know why you're here.
Yeah, sorry. So you're leaving yourself a 1/2 inch gap.
Okay, so
So we've got this set up with 1/2 inch gaps.
So-
now I have a thing.
and here's what I'm going to do is I want to get this table set up to be like this table here, but I want it to have underlines. Junk. And there was like a really easy way to import to table. Okay, let me see if I can do this real quick. If I copy all of this, and let me just open up a little editor here, and then I'll pause this while I once I paste this in, I'll pause it while I do the reformatting.
Can I just show you something really quick?
Wait, hold on, because I can choose to
I
do.
think before you do this, I want to show you something.
No, I want to do this real quick. Hold on.
Okay, go for it.
So these two things go in the same. What's it? So I'm going to go like this. I think no. It's because it allows you to do a column separator and a new row separator. So I'm going to use like a semicolon as my column separator, and then I'm going to use a colon as my new row separator, and then I'm just going to like redo everything in this fashion real quick, and then I'll import it. So let me do that. I've reorganized this where every name has a semicolon after it, and then I remove the new line, and then after the email I put a full colon, and then the title, and then the new line. And so now when I do this, I'm going to copy all of this and I'm going to go back over here. So if I go to table, so we could do it that one way, right? Like, let me click on something maybe. How do I do insert table?
So you have to create a text field in which the table will be contained. So click on your text, drag it out to however big you want that table to be.
Okay. And then I can go to table, insert table, right?
Yep.
So I could just say, put 5 rows and 5 columns. But what I found out is that when I put it in that format where I did that thing that I did, now I can say convert text to table. So I can paste this text in here.
Oh, yeah.
And then say convert text to table, and then I can tell it that my column separator is, what did I use for columns?
I actually knew you could do this.
Semicolon.
I had no reason to do it.
And my row separator is a colon, right? And so then, boom, now all the information is retabulated just like I had there, except for there's like an extra new line here for some reason. But yeah, so now, boom, fast and easy, right? But what I want to do...
I had no reason to do that, but that makes sense.
Yeah, like if you want to convert it from a table format that it doesn't understand.
Yeah.
So it was less work than like manually being like, okay, cut, paste, cut, paste, cut, paste, cut, paste to just do the semicolon and the colon or whatever, could have done the tab or whatever. Okay, so here's the other thing is now, this is the part where I had trouble.
You want to like affect the visual nature of that table?
Yeah, so I want all of these, the lines to have an underline with them. Because I don't like the box layout of the table. Like if I put the actual boxes around everything, which I removed them from here, but on this printed one that I have, you can see like how it's got the row colors and stuff. And I don't really like that. I don't like the alternating color. That's not this kind of table.
It's like a minimalist table, like with one separator.
Yeah, so I just want one separator.
Highlight the whole table.
Okay, so do I highlight all the text in the table?
Yeah, highlight the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Okay, now up here you can select which of those borders you'd like to show.
Okay, so I unclick these. So which is selected? This blue is selected or no?
Blue is existing.
Okay, so I want to get rid of everything except for I don't understand what
I think you just want the middle one. So just
No, I want the bottom one too.
You want one underneath the whole table?
Well, not underneath the whole table, but I want the very because I want the very last one. Because this is showing
right here
you
underneath the table.
Yeah, so this one right here, like under
the
AJ.
lowest piece of data.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want those 2 lines.
Yeah, but I don't want one up top.
Right. Okay, so you can click off that real quick.
Okay, so now I click off that.
Now if you go to the View tab up top.
Yeah.
And you change your screen mode.
Screen mode?
To Preview. It should show you how it would print. I don't know why it's
Yeah, but see, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah, that's what it should do. Let me see if I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, so I was really this is where I got confused, and then I was like, wait a minute, why did I switch from OpenOffice to this? Because this is not intuitive for me. Okay, let's pause and we'll figure it out.
Really confusing, and that's why I didn't remember it. I also don't really like tables, just as a personal thing.
Well, I mean, how else would you represent this information? Is a table not the best format for that?
Well, I mean, like this is more of a style I like than like lines. I don't know. I feel like lines are kind of overwhelming, but okay. So we're ready?
Okay, yeah. So what we have to do is actually...
Are you recording?
Yeah, so it's recording.
Okay, so you want to select the ones that you don't want. So the ones you're ready to get rid of should be blue. The ones that you want to keep should be unselected or black.
Okay.
Now you want to go to your size and make it 0.
0.
And those lines now no longer exist.
Okay, excellent.
Sorry. It's annoying.
But now this is cool though, right?
Yep.
So what would you suggest? What do you think would be a better visual style if not this?
I guess I don't know. I've never thought about it.
Okay, well think about it for a minute. I'm going to port some of this other stuff over. So I'm just going to draw a text field here, and I'm going to call this like announcements and calendario. Oh, wait, maybe I just want calendar.
Good idea. So, well, first of all, I would move this column, and I would highlight this whole column, and I would align all that to the right, so that everything is kind of riding the outside of those lines.
All right, let me do this thing real quick, and then I'll take your suggestion. Okay, so I want this to be centered. It's kind of weird how the tools, they're a little bit different between the different products. So
this will help. So this is the explanation that I think is most helpful. Illustrator is based on content. So it's based on like, what is it that you want to put on this page?
Oh, one thing real quick before you get into that explanation. So is what it's showing me here, is this with the margins or without them? So like, can I take something straight to the edge?
Or put it right on the edge and then just change your view.
Okay, so view.
Screen mode.
Screen mode.
Normal.
Normal. No. Okay, so...
So it's showing you what the printed end result will be, not... Because this is supposed to be your cut line. This isn't bleed, it's margin. Do you understand the difference?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So if you go to view mode...
Okay.
Go to view again, to screen mode.
I feel the need to make this font size the right size. I think it was 16. Let me check and see what it is over here. It's 16. Why do they not look similar at all? Oh, well, I won't worry about that right now. Let's go to what you're talking about. So you want me to go to view?
Yeah, go to view, screen mode.
Screen mode.
Instead of preview, choose bleed.
Okay. There's no bleed.
Oh, yeah, there's no bleed.
But if I added...
I thought that might show you margin line, too.
Oh, bless me. But if I had, if I was going to color this, which I'm not, but if I were going to color it, then I'd go to document setup, and then I would go to more options, and then I would add the bleed in, and I'd say, like, give me like a 1/4 inch bleed. Yeah. Is that pretty standard? And what's a slug?
Yeah, so 0.125 is 0.125 is the minimum that anybody will take.
Okay, so
1/4 inch is
0.25.
pretty normal. A slug is, if I'm correct, I'm not entirely sure if I'm right about this, but I think slug is the variance along that cut line, right?
I don't know. Let's just throw it in there for fun and see what happens. So variance along the... I have no idea what you said, bro.
So like when you cut with bleed, it is assumed that the cut is perfect. And since the cut is not perfect, the slug line should give you a little bit of leeway from where you're cutting, but I don't know if that's quite right.
Oh, okay. That kind of makes sense. Cool. So we'll just leave that in there. That doesn't do us any harm to have that in there. So I'm not going to go back and take it out. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So you're saying your slug line is like, it might get cut exactly here?
Either in or out by this amount.
Okay.
So it's kind of like in machining, you say this needs to be 3 millimeters wide, accurate to 4/1000ths of an inch.
Right. Kind of like how when I got my business cards from Vistaprint, they were perfect in every way. But when I got them from the local cutting shop, they were skewed and skiddlywampus.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the 2 cents on InDesign that will help you understand. So Illustrator is designed for content creation. So it's based on like, what do you want it to say or what do you want it to look like? Not based on where do you need it to fit. InDesign is created based on constraints. So like this has to be 2 inches, this has to fit inside this square, it has to be in the middle of these 2 items, and so everything is a relative measurement based on a boundary. Does that make sense? Yeah. Whereas like in Illustrator, I can take the text tool and just click and then type and it will just make it however long it needs to be. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. In InDesign, I have to draw where I'm allowed to go, and then inside of that it will let me play with the visual nature of it. Does that make any sense? Yeah. So that's really where the difference is. It's not actually that the tools are all that different.
Is that the avenue of access is different.
Exactly. So I would maybe justify those. See if you like the way that looks.
Okay, let's justify them. So justify button is over now it's over here. That's kind of weird.
Because it's a table property, not a...
Oh. Okay.
So I don't know if you like that, but it just makes more sense with the line a little bit to me.
Well, let me see what so I've got these at 13. Are these at 13 too? Everything's at 13? Let me put these all at 13. I think I'm actually gonna make it smaller. I think 12 or 10 is good. But then in this one over here, they are Georgia, which is probably gonna be way different. Yeah, looks way different.
Do you want it to be Futura, like you have on the right side?
Oh, that's weird. Oh, okay, huh.
So you can slide this middle bar to the left, which will give you a little more room without having to make your boundaries wider.
Well, I want the boundary to be fitted.
Yeah. I'm just saying since your names are shorter than your...
Yeah. Okay. So, and that was pretty easy. So yeah, let's go with Futura. I think the problem with Futura is it does not do well for email addresses because they're like J's and I's look similar. Like,
yeah.
Like there's characters where it's more difficult to discern. Like, is that a capital L or is that a lowercase I or is that a J?
You can try this and see if this is helpful. So you can go like this, and then you can go la 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 la. So you were using a condensed font.
Oh, okay.
And by uncondensing it, you make a little more space. I like the look of a condensed sans serif font, but it will make it a little easier to discern individual characters to uncondense them.
Okay, cool. So I think this is looking pretty good then. Do you have any suggestions visually on how to make it nicer?
No, I like it.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I guess that was kind of the big thing was just that right there. Let's see what else might be interesting. Is there any way to like autofill with ellipses or something like that between, if you want something on the right and on the left and you want when you type it to like shorten or expand the ellipses automatically?
Not that I know of, but it would be a good idea.
Because it seems like that's something like super common in a lot of articles. Like there's always like these ellipses that define the distance between two spaces.
There's probably a way. It's just probably a tool I've never had to use before.
Okay, and then like let's import an image real quick.
Okay.
Maybe first we can find an image. I'm going to open up Safari because I know I don't have tabs in that because I never use it. And let's just do an image search for LDS temple because everybody wants an LDS temple on their thing. Is there any holiday coming up this Sunday? I guess that's
Easter
tomorrow.
is in 2 Sundays.
Okay. LDS temples. Shabam. I like this one. That one looks like it won't take a lot of ink to print. That's a concern for me,
You just pay for the printing yourself? There's no like...
I think they're going to reimburse me.
For such a thing?
I think they're going to reimburse me, but right now. Yeah, so I'm going to save image to downloads. That was actually pretty sweet. I don't know why the other browsers don't have that simple of a download tool. Okay, where is downloads, right? So I just drag and drop. Is that how this is going to work? Sweet.
So that's one of the ways.
Oh, that's weird.
So you click to place.
Click to place. Wow.
And then it will place at 1:1 image size to document.
Okay, and I guess I got to click back to my tool here.
Yeah, so this is where InDesign gets a little weird.
Should I hold down Shift to make sure it scales?
You hold Shift, it keeps your aspect ratio, but go ahead and let go right now. Do you see what you just did? So again, you're cutting the boundary, not resizing the image. So just hit undo.
Yeah, let's undo a couple of times here. Oh, let me just do Command Z.
Okay, now if you go over here, do you see this tool? Down below scissors. Free transform tool.
Free transform.
Now do that same move you just did. Hold Shift. And
hold Shift.
You see how that's resizing the image?
Yeah. Okay. I'm
so
glad.
So there's 2 different functions.
You were here for that.
One of the things that's cool about InDesign, but also frustrating about InDesign, is that it allows you to set a boundary, but place an image at its full resolution, and only allow a certain amount of that image to show through. So if you have a perfect square as your space, but your image isn't a perfect square, you don't have to try and fit it into the perfect square, have white space on top and bottom. You can leave that square.
Ooh.
And then just position the image underneath, right?
So
it essentially creates a clipping mask for that.
If I were to do selection tool and I just went like this, then I could reposition the image inside of that somehow? Or no, I just...
Sort of, yeah. So like what you're doing is you're trimming the image as you do this.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah. All right. Well, that's cool. That's actually a really neat feature. And then...
So that way you can place... So you can change the shape of your image without actually clipping it.
I like that.
So if you double click on that...
Yeah.
Now you should be able to grab the image and slide it underneath.
No way.
Inside your square. So again, it's not based on the content so much as it is based on the boundary. The theory being if you need to make major modifications to your content, that's what Photoshop and Illustrator are for. It's kind of a weird bifurcation of tools, but that is the theory. So this way...
Yeah, bifurcation is actually kind of a weird word.
Yeah, that's why I used it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Steve Jobs actually taught that to me. I watched one of his, talks.
Okay.
That's a lie. I made that up.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that too. I believe that you made it up.
So that's where I think InDesign really shines, is when you have content that doesn't necessarily match your content slot. InDesign is really good at saying like, okay, well, how do I make this work, right? And then if that image doesn't fit, then you got to find a different image. But there's a way to sort of position it and slide it left and right, kind of like when you do your Facebook profile and you say like, use this part as the thumbnail.
Yeah. Okay.
Same basic idea.
So out of the other stuff that you see here, well, I guess just look at the printed version that I've got, and just tell me if there's anything else that you think I might need like a little bit of help understanding what to do based on the layout I have currently.
I don't really think so. The one thing I will tell you is that there's two different ways to create what I would call this, which is a block layout of text.
Okay, a block. Well, let's go ahead and create the block layout then.
The two different ways to create a block layout are you can create one single boundary box.
So I would do that with my text tool?
So grab your text tool.
Okay.
And drag out that entire square, wherever you would want text. So probably that whole pink line or something.
Yeah, all right. So, and then I can just drag,
Yeah,
let me just
change to your selection tool.
Yeah, let me change the selection tool, and then so I like that the text doesn't disappear if it's empty, like it'll stay texty. Yeah, I like that.
In Illustrator, it sort of disappears, although it actually technically does leave an artifact, which is really weird.
Can you? Because it seems like when I try to select like a zero width text field, I can never find it again to delete it.
Yeah, that happens. Okay, so option number one is what you've just done. You've created a large block of text. Inside of this, you can select individual elements and center them, change their size.
Yeah, so like for example, our sacrament meaning.
Sure.
We're just we put this up at the top. I wonder if I could just tell it like for this document to use Futura. Is there a way to tell it like
I believe so. If you go to like File, Document Properties, or Document Setup,
Presets, Document Setup.
No, it's in presets. You're right.
Okay, so File, Document Presets, Define.
Yeah. And then you click New.
Oh, New.
Yeah.
And then say like I'll just call this Word Program.
Yeah, I might be wrong about this.
Preset, and then this doesn't.
Sorry,
wait. Intent print. Intent web.
Your intent is print.
Yeah.
I'd say cancel. I led you astray. Sorry.
Yeah. Sometimes you lead me astray, bro.
It's a little hard because sometimes I just like operate this tool and I don't really think about how I'm doing it.
Do you want to operate it for a second?
No. It's cool. There's a way to do it. I don't remember how you do it.
Okay.
I'll figure it out and I'll update you.
But in the interim, right now, let me just check and see. Not that I don't necessarily think that this might change, but I also like how in InDesign when I can scroll through the pages, whereas I can't over here in LibreOffice.
Yeah.
Draw. But yeah, so I was using size 16 there, and then I'm using like size 8 here. Okay, so I'll go back over here. And so I'll just start creating it the way that I had it before.
Exactly. So let me tell you, this is the reason to do this is that you can jump in and delete a line and everything will kind of hop upward, and it's kind of like a Word document, right? Like it's really pretty simple to edit. So you have a limited set of tools. The reason not to do this is you're limited to using text characters for spacing and so on and so forth. Right.
Oh yeah, because like if
if you want to move something down, you have to use returns.
Yeah,
so
and then
you can only do chunks of 8 points or whatever size your returns are.
And the hack I've been using is I'll like put a space in there, or at least this is what I did in Draw. Is I'd put a space so that I could select it, and then I'd change like now this is 4 point
right
or something. That way it adjusts the space a little bit.
It's one way to do it, and then. The other way to do it is to create a boundary for each individual chunk. So like you have opening hymn, opening prayer, and announcements.
Okay, so
that would be like one chunk, right?
Yeah, because these all go together.
Because they all go together. So I might create a box for that.
Okay, so let's do it your way.
Create a separate box for the title and a separate box for theme and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's something I could do in LibreOffice too. It's just like, unless it was cumbersome, this seemed like it was really quick and easy. So is there a way that I can just select this and copy paste? Okay, copy paste. Yeah, okay, cool. So then here I can just delete all this.
Right.
And then just go back here, tighten this up. But now you're right, because now well, I guess I need to go in here and delete that, and then delete this. But I can come in here, and it's really simple to like choose exactly the amount of spacing I want. I can choose the arrow key.
Yeah.
And isn't it like Alt arrow does like half points? No, Alt arrow does copy.
Alt arrow is
what's the way to do like half of a movement?
I've never done half of a movement with an arrow key. I find that the mouse is pretty precise. You can zoom in more and more and more, and it will get more and more precise with the mouse.
Okay.
So if you're like really trying to land something, you can do that. But the arrow key is always the same size.
Oh, it's always like one of these little tick marks right here.
Mm-hmm.
So like with the mouse, if I want to move it, I can move it like just like half of that.
Yeah. Like a tiny, tiny, tiny amount. That's why I use the mouse so much. It's also why I like this guy, this magic mouse.
Okay, cool. So any other recommendations for what I'm doing here?
Again, you don't have to do it like this.
Yeah.
But it gives you, so it's more work, but it gives you a little more flexibility, right? And
yeah, which sometimes means less work.
Right. And so like if you just made this as one separate from theme here, then rather than spanning the whole thing, you can like slide it over here, slide it over there. So it's a little bit more playful if you don't want like a center, left, or right. If you want something that's a little bit off.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So like if you wanted like cascading text or something, it would be the best way to do it. In the case of this, like it's such a structured document, like it's kind of intended to be that way. I don't know if that's something that's of any benefit, but
okay.
Just in the interest of understanding the tool, I think.
So like let's say that I had something like an article that I was writing. Like let's say I take this a step further, I start doing a newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I've got my like is there a tool to like just insert some lorem ipsum?
Mm-mm.
Really?
There might be, but I don't know what it is. Actually, go to type.
Hold on, lorem. What is it called? Lipsum? How do people?
Just go to the type menu. I believe
Okay.
it's in type, and then you can go to insert. Fill with placeholder text. Sorry.
Oh, okay, cool.
I forgot about that.
All right, cool. Right. So now let's say that I've got this thing here,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I just want to put a picture, and I want the text to like move
Wrap
out of the
around
way.
it?
Yeah. Is there a way to do that?
Yes, but the way that I do it is weird. I don't know if it's the right way to do it.
Okay. Well, what's the way that you do it?
So what I do is I take like the square like this, and then I'm like
Wait, you take what?
the square tool. Like
Where's the square tool? Show me. Is that this one?
It's this one right here. Looks like this.
Is it that?
Yeah. Same
Yeah.
thing.
Okay. I take the square
So
tool.
I make like square A, and I make like square B, so that there's like a gap in there.
Uh huh.
And then I like take the two of them and highlight them, and then like what's the thing?
So I select them with. Oh, and like then do like a merge.
Yeah.
Like arrange, select. Let's see, where might it be?
Object.
I'm gonna look for it here. You tell me where it is when you actually find it. Yeah, I'm not finding it. But if I go up to object, you're saying I go into object, and then clipping path, interactive
Nope.
paths, open path, close path, reverse path, make compound path.
Yeah, so you have to have two that are lined up that don't have any overlap, because the compound path gets weird when you have an overlap.
Okay.
And you go object,
Oh, I must have had an overlap.
paths, make compound path, and then I use this tool. And I delete that one.
Wait, hold on. So I'm a little bit behind you. So paths, make compound path,
Mm-hmm.
and then select. What do I select after that? I made the compound path, and now what?
Okay, so
Do
then
I go to this?
Then I use the white arrow, yeah, the subselection tool, and I select that line right there, and I delete it.
Okay. That didn't work the way.
No,
I was.
you want to select both of those lines, so I just kind of drag over both of them, and then delete.
Oh, but
Oops.
not.
Yeah, just once. And then now you need to draw in that line. You have to replace that line to make a thing.
So do I just click on this line tool,
Uh-huh.
and then, well that.
And then you like draw point to point like that, right? So now you have a shape. You can draw a shape any way you want. The point is you draw a shape. And then you have to highlight all those lines.
Hold on. I'm
Am I confusing you?
No, you're not confusing me. It's just like I kind of want it to snap to the point that I'm trying to get it to.
Yeah, and unfortunately it doesn't do that. It's really annoying.
Okay, so that's just not a feature.
Yeah.
But then I use sub-selection tool and I go select with shift.
I use the selection tool, the regular selection tool, not sub-select.
Okay, well I use sub-select and I think it worked. But what you're saying is I could do this.
So you highlight this
like
whole
that
thing.
way. I could highlight the whole thing.
So highlight the whole thing.
Or I could use sub-selection tool and then use shift and click on it. And then I go back to
you don't
object.
want to use sub-selection tool because it won't select the whole item. It will only select part of it.
Oh, okay.
So hence the sub-selection name, right?
All right, so paths, make compound path again?
No, you should be able to join them. I don't know why it's not allowing you to join them.
Is it allowing you to join them?
No.
Well, I'm just going to do make compound path and see what happens.
And then you go content.
So can I tell it like I don't actually want this border?
Dude, I hate this program sometimes. It's the most confusing thing ever.
Whoa, where'd it go? I lost it.
There's another way to do it too. There might be an easier way to do it. I'm sort of thinking.
So wait, now how do I put the text inside?
So you should be able to go to the object menu and say content and then make it a text object.
Okay.
And then you should be able to type in that shape. And then if you just go to type... Yeah.
Dude, this is awesome.
So you should be able to make any shape like that. I think that you might be able to do this as well. Like draw A and then draw B and then like select both of them and go like... It's like a way to combine them.
It's like the everlasting text field. Oh, there it goes. I was just like deleting forever. Dude, that's really cool. So that's how you...
So I've always done it with a shape, and I think it's easier to create a shape in Illustrator because it's kind of made for that. But,
well, that wasn't really difficult.
Kind of a weird workaround, but anytime you create a shape, so I wasn't very good at explaining that. So anytime you create a shape, right?
Yeah, so I can create an ellipse, I can create... Yeah, it doesn't...
create anything, right? And
so I just hold object, down and I say...
And then you go content text, right? And then you go type fill with placeholder text, and now see I have writing in a circle. Or whatever the shape is.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's really cool, actually.
So I did a terrible job of explaining a rather simple problem.
Well, no, like
you can take any shape. So the point is that like wherever your picture is or whatever's driving the shape of the text, whatever it's running around, you just draw around it and say, this is where I want text to go. I want it to go this far, not this far, whatever. And then if you click on this here,
yeah,
you can, like if you click on the field.
Oh, I need to go back to my selection tool.
Yeah, selection tool. Click on the field. You can like grow it like left and right, and it will kind of keep the same. It'll be like just like an object.
And if I hold shift, it'll grow proportionally.
Or you can use your sub-selection tool.
Let me undo that. Okay, sub-selection tool.
And click off that for a second.
Okay.
Now you can select individual points. So like click on this corner.
Yeah.
And then hold shift and click on that corner.
Okay, hold shift, click. Whoops.
And then you gotta grab this one in the middle too because we made it from two boxes. Okay, now grab and drag that to the right.
Holding shift or no?
No shift.
Okay, I didn't grab something.
Yeah, so it got a little weird, but like just grab the path. Don't grab the point, just grab the path.
Okay.
And drag to the right. So you see what it's doing? It's morphing everything else because you're only grabbing one point, and so it's like leaving other pieces static. And so it looks like you've got this whole path and this whole path, and so those two are fixed and pulling this way, and everything else is stretching to grow with it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So depending on how you do it, like you can push it up or down, and do you see what I mean? So like once you create it, if the text doesn't look quite right, like you still have some ability to grab individual points and change the shape, as well as like modifying the original shape and starting over.
All right, cool, man. That's good.
Also, this image right here, this little red plus, means that you have more text than there's space for. So it's called overset text is the term for it. So like if you tried to print this right now, it would tell you that this image or that this document has overset text. Do you want to print it?
Oh, and the lines turn green when they're finally at 90-degree angles. Oh, that's nice.
It's like your snap too.
Why isn't this one turning green?
Which one?
The
vertical one?
Yeah.
I don't know. Possibly because it's not mated to a reasonable point or something.
Oh. And those points aren't joined. Oh well.
So if
anyway,
you move it
this
there,
is...
it should snap to 90 if they're not joined. But if you understand the basic principle,
Yeah, I get this now.
you can.
I wish it was more clear, like what I've selected.
Yeah. So if you use your sub selection tool and you click on just one of those points, I'll show you what it looks like. So no, you're clicking. That's a path.
Okay.
You need to click on a point.
Okay. Just click on the point.
Do you see how the point is now filled in?
Yeah, that's...
So that means that it's selected. It's not super clear. I agree.
Okay. Okay, well, whatever. This is cool.
But you
I think
can
this is
select
good.
multiple points at a time and whatever you want.
All right, well, I think this is really good. I think that covered like the basics of what I need to do, like a Word program or a Word newsletter. Cool, man. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
If this was useful for you, please go ahead and give that little thumbs up button a nice click. Also, you'll see the notes are in the comments section down below. You can either at the end of the article or right up at the top. Give it a like, tweet, +1, whatever. Thanks.